I don't have a whole lot to say. I know it's been a while since we spoke last, so a lot of energy right now out there at practice. I think it's been good. The guys are enjoying playing football. It's been a lot of developmental work in terms of, we haven't had a lot of assistant coaches at practices. It's mainly been coordinators and myself because of recruiting. So there's a lot of 11 on 11 going on out there, just playing the game, putting them in situations, whether it be 2-minute, red zone, third down, and just play football because we definitely need that on both sides. So energy's been great. The guys are flying around, excited. We'll get more now that we'll have the coaches back in off the road. We'll get a lot more in depth into preparation for Missouri next week, and we've sprinkled a little bit of that in here throughout the last week or so, but it's been mostly about just us getting better and playing. Questions?
Can you talk about the any injury situation or how Elijah's doing? Or
Yeah, Elijah's doing great. He's battling to get in there, because we're healthier there than we've been. Patrick's been full practice, Patrick Vahe and Elijah and Jake and Terrell in there. So those guys have been kind of rotating around, and then Elijah's been getting some reps at tackle as well. Malik with the turf toe, first degree sprain of the turf toe, went and saw a specialist, I believe it was in Green Bay or something like that. And confirmed the diagnosis, first degree. He's day-to-day right now. I think, he's been fighting through that for a while now, and so the more rest, the better for him. And then, like I said, he's not missing a ton in terms of Missouri preparation because we haven't thrown very much at him in terms of that. He's also was sick today or yesterday and today, upper respiratory deal. He had a fever broke, and so he should be back out there tomorrow.
So that being said, as of right now, you're expecting Malik to try to play in the bowl game?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it. Those guys. We talked about it before or right after the final regular season game, and they all sent their paperwork into the NFL, the guys that wanted to, and got that back. I know they've been talking about it with their families, and but this is my first real day off the road, so a bunch of those guys will come in and talk to me here this weekend.
This is the first time with this new signing day you've had to balance practices and the road. So how has that whole process been? Having to go home and then here and then in homes again?
It's really hard. I think this was one of the unintended consequences. I mean, you gotta suck it up and do it. I mean, there's no complaints. It's just it is difficult for head coaches. I'm not sure we all realized the percentage of kids that would sign on the early signing day. I mean, we'll probably have at least 2/3, probably 3/4 of our class signed on signing day, which is great once it's done, because now, in the eyes of the NCAA, those guys turn into players at the University of Texas, meaning we can call them whenever we want, we can go see them off campus whenever we want, we can send them our playbooks, we can send them nutrition plans, workout plans, all that stuff. So I think the benefits of signing early will be really, really good. These last 3 weeks have been a bit of a blur for me because as the head coach, you only get to see each kid one time off campus. And, if we're going to sign 20 guys on signing day on December 20th, we're recruiting probably 26 to 28 guys. And to go try to see 26 guys and have bowl practices and host official visitors each weekend in 3 weeks, 26 guys in 3 weeks plus practice. I mean, the math doesn't really add up real well. So it's been a blur again. I mean, I think it was Sunday Los Angeles, Monday Salt Lake City, then back here in Austin late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, practice Tuesday morning, Louisville, Kentucky, then fly from Louisville on Tuesday night to Bradenton, Florida, then Bradenton, Florida Wednesday in the morning, then Houston, Texas in the afternoon, then the Touchdown Club in Houston Wednesday evening, then fly home, get home real late Wednesday night, wake up Thursday morning practice, hop on a plane to Shreveport, Louisiana, then to Dallas, Texas, and then back here to be at practice Friday morning. So it's been, and that's just 1 week, and the other weeks were very similar. So it's been a grind, but I think it'll be worth it.
Coach, when you're losing guys that are decided to go pro, you can either look at it as, well, you won't have those guys for a bowl game, or the positive of, you guys that developed NFL talent, that you can sell that to recruits. How do you view the guys who are not going to be around?
I think it's positive for a couple reasons. One, we are developing NFL talent, and especially if you're a mid-year guy coming out of high school, we're going to get you on a plan to graduate in 3.5 years, and if you're good enough to come out early, we're going to send you on your way and wish you the best and know that you're prepared, and hopefully at that point have your degree as well. And it's also positive because the guys that are going to fill in for them get all of this practice work as well. So yeah, we if a guy is good enough to be an early round draft pick and wants to leave early, we understand.
Tom, you mentioned Elijah earlier. Is he a possibility to play in the bowl game, or are you guys going to redshirt him this year?
Can't redshirt him. Yeah, I think he's already used his redshirt year. Yeah, so he'll play.
I guess I got to ask the quarterback question as the weekly quarterback question. How is that rotation shaken out so far?
It's been even. If you're asking who goes out there, the first time the ones go out, it has been Shane. But then the second time the ones go, it's been Sam. And they both had good days. Both have had some not so good days. So we got a lot of time to worry about that in terms of who's going to get the bulk of the reps in the game.
At this point, you would probably expect both guys.
Yeah, I would.
I know you said you've been on the road obviously a lot, but just wondering, I guess, how much contact you've had with Chris Del Conte, and sort of wondering, I guess, what that relationship, you expect that relationship to be like going ahead?
Really excited. I'm excited for a guy with his proven track record, with his leadership skills, his vision, as well as, like I said, the things that he did at Rice and at TCU, are unprecedented. And I'm really excited to start working with him. We met yesterday briefly, face-to-face. We've been talking on the phone almost every day, but face-to-face, met for about 30 minutes yesterday. And, Chris and I go way back, and we have stayed in touch throughout the years. We're not taking family vacations together or anything like that, but professionally have stayed in touch. And, I think it was, a home run by President Fenves and our administration to get him here.
Come at him with the
Done from a facility standpoint at TCU with their stadium and football facility is remarkable. He said he was just at Oklahoma a week or two ago and saw their brand new facility, and so he's aware, but he's not just the football athletic director too. He's for all sports, and I know getting a new basketball arena is a very big priority around here as well.
Tom, we have a lot of time to talk about Missouri, but just quickly in person to get your thoughts on them, and especially Locke, a guy that may be under the radar until you look at his numbers this year.
Yeah, I don't know why he's under the radar, but it's just a guy that I believe he led FBS in touchdown passes. He's on a 6-game run that's as good as there is in the country. And I think the one thing that goes a bit untalked about or unmentioned in this 3-game or 6-game run that they're on is their defense. Their front four, especially front 6, are playing really, really hard. They're really difficult to block. I think they're in the top 10 in the country in TFLs. So they're getting in the backfield, and so we will definitely have our hands full, and on both sides of the ball.
So Tom, you have not heard yet from the Michael Dixon, Chris Boyd, the other guys, Nelson, who put in for the grades.
No, they just got him a couple days ago, So we hadn't talked, and I've been on the road. Again, probably, either later today or at some point this weekend, we'll probably sit down and talk. I don't know that, that they need to hurry up with any kind of decision. They've all been out there practicing. They can take their time with this, but we'll probably have some conversations here in the near future.
One thing about recruiting, talking about getting guys a degree on the 3.5 years, do you think that with this early signing day, this is going to now become a shift to the norm? Guys signing in December, leaving high school early, and getting into college in January?
I don't know the norm, but it'll be more normal for sure.
Okay.
I think you're going to see it. I think we're counting on 7 mid-year enrollees this year, which is, a lot for us, but it's probably not going to be seen as a lot in the future. And again, that's a personal decision for them. Does it help their development, as a freshman? Certainly. I mean, there's no denying that. But, I certainly understand the guys that want to be a teenager and finish the final semester of high school too.
How do most parents feel about it? Are parents like, yeah, let's get him out of here, or are they like, oh no, I don't want to go with my baby?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a most. Everyone is different. I think there's, if I had to categorize, a majority of them are probably torn a little bit because they want to see their sons succeed on the field as early as possible, and I think they're all very aware that the earlier you get that process started, the better. But they also, they're going to miss their kid. Whenever their kid leaves, they're going to miss them. And I know as a parent, I'd want to hold on to my kids as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get you some new shoes, bro.
Like mine?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I know we'll talk a little bit more about this, next week about when we talk about recruiting, but you guys have a top 5 class, pretty much scored in most rankings, just about every ranking actually. What has been the sell? What has been the pitch? What has been working so effectively?
Relationships. I think our coaches handle recruiting the way that they handle their position groups. We are a very relationship-based staff, and we want to be, when they're here, we want to be, like surrogate parents, if you will, and we want to make sure that those guys know that we love them and that we hold them to very high standards, but we'll give them the tools necessary to achieve those standards. So I think our coaches have developed remarkable relationships with the guys in this class, and the record aside, the last few years, there was, I guess I said this in one of my early press conferences, and it became a hashtag. This is Texas. I mean, it's still Texas, and everything that comes with it, with a degree from the University of Texas, one of the top 25 public institutions in the country, with the tradition and history here, with the tools and opportunities that we provide our student athletes, and living in Austin, Texas. It's I'm not going to say it's an easy sell because other places have a lot of really good things to sell as well, but it is one when you're just talking about the product that you're selling, minus the relationship. Our product is as good as there is in the country in terms of our education and athletic tradition and history. Now you couple that with the relationships that these guys build, and we're doing a pretty good job.
So have you spent more time selling relationships than playing time?
I mean, everybody wants to play. I don't know that there's no real sell there. I mean, it is. I get that. Well, I'm going to look at the depth chart and see where I fit in. When, we want guys that want to come in and compete. I know, talking to Michael Huff, that DB class or that group of guys in that 04, 05, 06 era, I mean, it was a daily battle out there to keep your job or to go take somebody's job. And, the results of that talent-laden group. You know, was it 2 Thorpe Awards, 3 first-rounders? I mean, because there was so many good players in that DB group. So I don't know that. I think playing time or depth chart analysis is probably a bit overrated when it comes to recruiting, because if you're recruiting the right guy, it doesn't really matter. And they don't mind competition, and they want to come in, compete, and get better.
Is there a front runner for Deshaun's replacement yet?
I think right now, you know, again, it's been fly in, show up to practice, and go. So me and Todd haven't had a ton of conversations about that, but I think right now, when the one defense is out there, it's Antoine at nickel with PJ in Deshaun's spot. You know, because we are playing Jason Hall a lot closer to the box here the last few weeks. He's kind of found a home there too.
Speaking of, just, you mentioned Orlando, just quick staff questions. Do you think Orlando will be here next year, and how close are you to the 10th assistant?
Yeah, I think all of our guys will be here next year. None of them have approached me with any jobs, despite reports. And the 10th assistant is something I've kind of done some preliminary backgrounds on some different guys, but I haven't even had time to shave half the time. So I'm going to worry about that after signing day, because you can't bring a guy in anyways till January 1st. So I'll worry about it December 20th, and then really hit it, you know, that week after the bowl game too.
But do you think that'll be like do you want like an offensive guy, a defensive guy? Have you even thought about that or no?
Yeah, I thought about it. You know, initially, you know, I thought about, you know, a defensive guy to even out the staff, but I think it's kind of like recruiting a little bit, where you almost want to go best available,
right.
You know, and so I think you kick the tires on both sides of the ball,
yeah.
And you know, and it's just like in recruiting, you don't take players just to take players. You want to take players or take guys because they're going to help you win, and so, you know, if a guy on defense, you know, if you know you get down to, you know, the 3rd or 4th guy, and you know, maybe this guy on offense, the first guy is gettable,
Right.
and only the 3rd or 4th guy on defense is gettable. Maybe it's the offensive guy you go after. So
They got to be a good recruiter though.
that's going to be that's number one, and it's the number one job description of all of our recruits, is bring in quality student athletes. Develop your unit is second, and then the scheme is a very distant third.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.